Welcome. Thank you for joining me, Debz Cooper, Global Stressologist. I appreciate you coming on today. Thank you. Thank you. Debz Cooper, Global Stressologist here, calling in from New Zealand, where we have a bit of a cloudy day today, expected rain, and enough about the weather. I'm not here to give you a weather forecast. I'm here to talk to you about appreciating the craziness around us. So, as I say this, I know there's a lot of crazy going on. There's a lot of crazy. So, including you here on a Friday morning watching this. If you're watching it live, let me know. And where you are in the world would be super inspiring, because we're here on Friday morning, but you may be overseas somewhere and watching it Thursday night, or even not even watching it live. So, thank you for joining me. If I break down the appreciating the craziness around us, I just want to reference the word craziness, because this word alone can tip people. And if I say it nicely, it can tip people to a degree. So we see it as crazy sometimes when we look upon it, but other people who are often doing things or in the moment don't see it as crazy. So I've labeled it crazy. So for example, if, and I'm going to use the reference of a drinker. If a drinker hangs out with another drinker, everything's going to be amazing. They're going to resonate, they're going to gel, everything's going to be amazing. But the other half, the partner or family member or close friend or something of that drinker, may see them as not as amazing, because they're taking time away from them, potentially spending their money, time, energy, whatever it is. Their zone is going to somebody else. So that person who isn't drinking with those people would see them as crazy. That's just a sort of an example to give you an idea of what craziness is, when I say that we can see people as crazy, but those who are on their journey or on their train don't see it as that. So right now, I'm going to say the world right now, there's a lot of craziness all around. And you know what I'm talking about. I'm going to give some examples. I'm going to say whether you vaccinate or not, whether you believe in COVID or not, whether you agree with the government's decisions or not. Can you see where you can be labeled crazy if you jump on one side or the other? If you, even those around you, if they make decisions that you think are worthy or not worthy, there's some craziness going on. There's racism, there's gender diversity, there's homophobia, transphobia, there's people who work or people who don't work, there's the location you live in or the location you don't live in, what you spend your money on or what you don't spend your money on. These are just some of the things that are really going on out there, and they're becoming more and more in our face, if I was to call it. So I'm referencing it crazy. I'm not saying take sides. I'm going to talk about that definitely to what's going on, the craziness, but I'm just labeling what we can see as crazy depending on what's going on in our world. So sometimes we can say something to somebody, or we don't say anything and someone can label us crazy. Or what you do or don't do and someone can label us crazy. So there's so many, and have been forever, there's so many memes out there, especially on social media or via your telephone or anything, that people are sharing about funny little ditties. Somebody may find it funny, somebody may find it offensive, somebody may just go, I don't get it. Either is okay. And so that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. And so as much as I would love to say, can you just stop this crazy? I know nobody can stop the crazy. I know we, even as a collective, the whole world can't stop what's going on in certain things around us. We can't stop racism all the way. There's always going to be at least one person. There's going to be more. We can't stop gender diversity. We can't stop if we have an opinion that someone's working or not. We can't stop on the opinion that we agree with the government or the government not, or what the banks are doing, or blah, 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 blah. Someone eats potato chips, someone eats chocolate. Someone goes for a run, someone doesn't. We can't stop any of that. That's the way the world works, that we all have an opinion and we're allowed those opinions. But what I'd love to share with you today is how to appreciate the craziness around us. So I'm just labeling it craziness. You can label it whatever you want, but it was just a word that I went, oh my gosh, this is so what it feels like for me. There's a lot of craziness around here. So that's what I'm going to talk about today. So what we can do, there's different things we can do with that craziness. And I actually just want to say, put my drink down. I just want to say, you know this craziness I'm talking about, don't you? Feel free to jump on there and say what this crazy that you can see going on around you, because you know this craziness. So hang on. So there's different things of what we can do. What we can do about it. We can sit in our hearts. And when I say sit in our hearts, truly just sit in our hearts for this perceivable craziness. We can be without judgment. And when we're without judgment, that's sitting in your heart. So we can be without judgment, we can sit in our heart. We can say something. We can definitely say something. We can, reply back to that, or we can verbally say something, or we can say something, or we can do a Facebook Live. We can definitely say something. We can also sit in it and just listen and be the table tennis, witness, and just watch the backwards and forwards. So just sit in it and listen. Or we can walk away. Or we can walk away from the craziness of what's happening around us. So there's different things you can do. Any decision you make out of those decisions, if you've got another one, bang them on the comments here. Any decision you make is perfectly okay for you right here, right now. You're making that decision because you have the wisest option right here in front of you. You have all the facts. You can decide what to do. You can make that decision. And that decision is perfect for you. Now, you may change that decision. That's okay. But right here, right now, that's your decision you're sticking with. And be okay with changing that decision. So don't regret it. Be grateful for the decision you made with the facts you have right here in front of you, and be okay with that. So let me break this down about what we want to do, your options of doing it. So there's, if you want to say something. So if you're going to say something, let's put this here. If you're going to say something, I would like you to get engaged. And when I say get engaged, look, listen, and learn. And so you're actually leaning in, you're engaged, you're listening to what is happening. There's a conversation going on, a bit of this, you're taking it in, you're giving feedback back. That is what I'm talking about, being engaged. I'm not talking about this type of stuff. I'm talking about being engaged. Don't be an a-hole. If you're going to come back and give your feedback or your conversation or whatever you'd like to label it, don't be an a-hole. Don't raise your voice. You don't need to do that. You don't need to fight with fight. None of that stuff. Speak from the heart when you have your opinion. Speak from the heart and with facts. F-A-C-T-S. And the facts you must speak with are real facts. If it's your opinion, say so. If it's other people's opinion, say so. Because if you bring in someone else's opinion and someone attacks you for that, you actually have no comeback because it's not your opinion. You're just sharing some knowledge on that you've heard. So it also stops other people from attacking you if they disagree with that opinion, because it's not your opinion, it's someone else's opinion. So just be aware of that. There's the things to do with that. So be engaged from the heart. That's what you're there for. The other option was sit and listen. And when you sit and listen, you're going to listen, obviously. You're going to listen. You're going to learn. And we're talking about very similar to what I just said before. You're going to listen. You're going to be in your heart. Don't be an a-hole. Don't raise your voice. None of this fight with fight. Speak from the heart when you speak. And is it your opinion or somebody else's opinion? Remember those things. Now, sit and listen doesn't necessarily mean don't say a thing. But you may just want to sit and listen to start with, and then you may want to engage. Then you also may want to leave. So that's okay. So sit and listen is a really neutral one, just to see what's going on. Feel your feelings. You read a meme, someone sent you a meme, you don't think it's that funny, you think it's inappropriate. Before you fire back, go, okay, so what's really going on here? What is this before I come back and say something? So that's the part of the sit and listen. You're just feeling the feel. The other one I talked about, the third one was walking away. And walking away is a really great one if you do it correctly. Instead of storming off, throwing your arms in the air or any of that stuff, because people will just go, what the heck's going on? So just say to people, tell others, it doesn't feed your soul, or don't say anything. So you're better to speak from the heart yet again and say, this conversation isn't feeding my soul, I'll catch up with you another time. Or I don't understand that joke if you don't understand it. So that's all part of the walking away. So I'm getting out of this conversation. It's okay to walk away at any time. At any time, because you're making the best decision for you right here, right now. But you must walk away with ease and grace and a little bit of dignity for you and a little bit of dignity for them. When we talk about walking away, I talk about speaking from the heart. Ensure you're constantly speaking from the heart. And you know what the heart is. You know when you're speaking from the heart, it is actually just genuine and you're in an understanding of presence. When you speak from the heart, people get it. Don't go back and forward and discuss this, whatever you've walked away from. Don't go telling someone else, oh my God, you wouldn't believe what Jane and Bob have said. They've said this, I totally disagree. Don't go jumping on that crazy train, because you then are just bringing in that whole different sphere of things that are happening in your world, and you really don't need to be dealing with it. So don't bring that stuff back in and join it into another bubble of somebody else. So when you walk away, you're walking away with your energy and you're walking away from that conversation. So hold that in your heart. So what you're doing is you're ultimately protecting your bubble that you wrapped yourself in. You're going, this doesn't feed my soul, I'm out of here. That's it. End of discussion, end of conversation. You can think about it, but there's no need to bring in somebody else to start dissecting that whole conversation. Unless, of course, you're speaking to a global stressologist. Because otherwise it's just not worth your time to go over and over again. But I'd also like to talk about gratitude, because this is really what it's about, is appreciating the craziness around us, is gratitude. Have gratitude for these situations that are going on for you. So when I talk about gratitude, when I talk about being grateful, I'm talking about be grateful for them for opening up to you. Be grateful that they have honest enough to share with you. They trust you enough to be transparent. You know their true feelings. Also being aware they could change their mind, because we all know that some people change their minds. So being aware of that. So you know their true feelings. The other thing is, who did you share your thoughts with? Now, this is a great one to be an eye-opener for you. Because when something happens to you, and I know I said don't, but something happens to you and you go and share with somebody. So maybe you get closer to your partner, you get closer to a work colleague, maybe you talk to the dog, maybe you talk to whoever. So who are those people you've actually shared with before that has helped your relationship with them? So I'm quite an internal person. So you either share externally or you share internally. I don't go around and rattle my thoughts to a lot of people, a lot of my people around me. I don't do that. I have a mentor that I ask questions to, and I do that. So mine are internal, and if I'm stuck on that, I ask external. So who are those people that you've shared that with? Is that something you're grateful for? Having another level of understanding. Another thing about being grateful is don't jump into resolution mode. Don't jump into resolution mode. So you can just sit and be grateful. Because the truth is, when you're in gratitude and you have presence, that is amazing. That is magical. That is beautiful. There's just a divineness to that. And that's a sensation you would desire to have more of. I know that because I just love it when I'm sitting in that true gratitude and I'm present with whatever is. It's like a sugar fix, but it's not the high or the low. It actually just is. And that's really, truly sitting in your heart. So just a couple of key facts before I wrap this up. Thank you, Rachel. Awesome topic. Is know you're human. Know you're human. You're here having a human experience. Your feelings are fully valid with what is going on. You can change your feelings at any time, but acknowledge your feelings. Know that you're human. They're fully valid. Don't take things personally. And I really mean that. Don't take things personally. Somebody may attack you or say something to you that challenges you or something. Don't take it personally. Okay? They're just having their opinion at that time. The other thing is respect all sides. Respect their side. Respect your side. Respect my side, respect the other person's side, respect everybody's side. You don't have to agree with their sides, but just respect them, that they've spoken to you about it and have engaged with you. And that's it. That's it from me. Here talking about appreciating the craziness around us. If you got some value, feel free to share this. If you didn't get some value, feel free to share this. See if someone else got some value. Let me know what you thought of it. I'd like to thank you for joining me, Debz Cooper, Global Stressologist, to appreciate the craziness around us. I wish you an inspiring day, an inspiring night, inspiring week. Thank you for joining me. I will see you next week. Thank you. Have a great day, evening, afternoon time. Bye.